Top 5 Best presents Young Woman Disappears After Vacation Gone Wrong. Or did she? Human trafficking is a major worldwide problem. For those of us watching this video, we likely have not experienced anything related to this issue. And since it doesn't get reported very often, most people don't realize just how major of an issue it is. When traveling or even just being out in areas we don't know, vigilance is key. Protect yourself. If you're not familiar with the area, stay close to friends and family, especially, and sadly, if you're a woman. On March 24, 1998, 23-year-old Amy Lynn Bradley and her family boarded a Royal Caribbean cruise ship called Rhapsody of the Seas, headed to the Antilles Islands in the Caribbean. The family couldn't wait to enjoy the warm weather and beautiful scenery. The cruise ship was packed with other tourists eager to enjoy their vacations too. The Bradleys, Amy, her father Ron, mother Iva, and brother Brad boarded in San Juan, Puerto Rico, with their first stop in Aruba. Then their ship departed for the island of Curacao. While en route to Curacao, Amy and Brad went to a nightclub. Brad left first and Amy soon followed suit. Around 5:30 in the morning, Ron checked on his daughter, who was sound asleep. He returned at 6 a.m. to wake her up. To Ron's shock, however, Amy was nowhere to be found. Amy's bed was empty, and Ron immediately panicked. Where could his daughter have gone? Brad told his father that he saw Amy dancing with a man named Alistair Douglas, nicknamed Yellow, before he left. He was a member of the band Blue Orchid that was performing at the club that night. Could he have played a role in Amy's disappearance? Ron and Iva immediately alerted the cruise ship authorities to Amy's sudden disappearance. They pleaded with them not to dock the ship, fearing anyone involved would escape. Unfortunately, the crew denied their request, and the ship docked in Curacao as planned. Once docked, authorities checked the ship, but they came up empty-handed. Police even questioned Alistair, the last man seen with Amy, but there wasn't enough evidence to detain him. The family was frustrated that many of the passengers had departed the ship before the search was over. If Amy was kidnapped, her captors could have easily escaped. Police immediately issued a missing persons alert for Amy. People all over the island of Curacao were made aware of the situation, and her family desperately hoped someone would come forward with any information. Authorities wondered whether Amy, intoxicated, might have fallen overboard after she left the club, but there was no evidence to support that theory. The Bradleys were devastated, and without any information about Amy's whereabouts, they were forced to return home without their daughter. Although there was no evidence to support the claim, Amy's parents firmly believed she was abducted. Brad noted that the cruise ship employees seemed to give her extra attention while she was in the club. Upon returning home, the Bradleys used every outlet possible to let the world know what happened, and the community rallied around them. Shortly after they returned home, Ron and Brad flew back to Curacao to continue the search for Amy. While on the island, the men posted flyers of Amy everywhere. They were offering a $260,000 reward to anyone who could help them find her. Amazingly, within 24 hours, a taxi driver on the island told the men he saw Amy in a frantic state just minutes after the Rhapsody of the Seas docked. She allegedly ran up to his car window and asked where the nearest telephone was, and then she just ran off. Her family was now convinced she was still somewhere in Curacao. With the help of local police, Ron and Brad scoured the entire island. They checked every hotel, store, and beach, but Amy was nowhere to be found. Disappointed and distraught, they had no choice but to return home yet again without Amy. As time passed, more people came forward with stories about spotting Amy, which only strengthened the Bradley family's certainty that she was kidnapped. They feared she was in the Caribbean being held against her will. In one such sighting, two Canadian tourists visiting Curacao believed they spotted Amy walking along the beach. The woman they saw had the same tattoos: the Tasmanian devil spinning a basketball on her shoulder, a sun on her lower back, a gecko lizard on her navel, and a Chinese symbol located on her right ankle. In another, a man named David Carmichael said he saw a woman who matched Amy's description walking along a beach flanked by two men. When she approached David, he said the men hustled her away. The Bradley family had local police search the area where the alleged encounter took place, but they found nothing. Another man from the Navy reportedly saw Amy inside a Curacao hotel. He said a woman approached him and said her name was Amy Bradley and that she needed help, but she was quickly whisked away by brothel workers. Because the sailor wasn't supposed to be in the brothel, he didn't immediately go to the police. The brothel has since burned down. There was another possible sighting of Amy in a restroom in Barbados. A tourist named Judy Marrer claimed to have run into the woman, who looked terrified. However, Judy quickly left and she never saw the woman again. Then, in 2005, an anonymous source emailed the Bradley family photos of a scantily clad woman who supposedly was their daughter. Detectives, however, couldn't track down the original source. All of these leads have given the Bradleys hope that Amy will one day return home. They hired a private investigator in Curacao, and he made it his mission to find her. Until he does, the family thinks about her every day and will continue to keep her memory alive. Thank you for watching. Tap one of the two videos on the screen for another shocking story.